Peace, 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 aka Nana, aka Nanny. Alright? From now on, as I'm gradually moving on, my word for peace is Nanny. In honor of many nannies. Mine, yours. Alright? I'm over here preparing some greenery as we get into part three. Julius Caesar and the Vatican's dirty little secret. Right? Revealing how when black people say that's a white man's religion, giving the breakdown of why it is. Right? And in order to keep that, of course, they'll argue you down to keep you under that brainwash. So I don't even listen. I just provide the information and keep it pushing. Like, you're not going to convince me of something that I know. Huh? The information is there. I didn't write the information, I didn't put it out there. In fact, you put it out there. But you know what they say. You put, if you don't want a black man to know, where you put it in a book, you know. And I defy the odds every time. Every time you say something, I show and prove that nah, that's the that's that brainwash, that power of suggestion. Pardon me. A matter of fact, while I'm rolling up, let me put my book up there. Talk to you about that. Street Skelzy, knock 'em out the box. There's a story about two brothers on opposite sides of the law. One a New York City detective, and the other, well, opposite of a New York City detective. You know, they team up in order to track down their father's killer or killers. This is a murder mystery. This is not a hood come up. This is a hood murder mystery. Something that you don't see much within urban writing. Since I'm into revealing clues, it was only natural for me to write a mystery novel. You know, I got other books coming. I got like six more. I'm actually trying to work with somebody as a ghostwriter for this type of information to put that on in a book. Due to the fact that, as you can see, my delivery and dialogue is rough and uncouth. Say words wrong, and people be laughing like, "Yo, he said that's not." You know what I mean, though. My thing is just because I deliberately do not, give it the best light, meaning pronounce it or like this. Listen, that's your cause. You protect that from me. From butchering and slaughtering it. You know what I mean? That's your job. Your job is to say, hey man, that's not how you say that. And I go, yeah, well, whatever. You know what the fuck I mean. You know what I mean? Anyway, hold on one second. Okay, here. Grab some light. Scissors, just so I can push this down. Right? I know I said I wasn't smoking in the month of March, but I'm not. Once I get rid of the weed that I have, I'm not getting any more. So that way, I know that I won't be smoking no more in March. So I'm running low. It'll take a while, but it'll get there. Right? Anyway, what I'm doing is sliding over here. Let's go and back into Caesar's comment. Right now, I zoomed in a little bit more, so if the video now like seems to be a little bit closer for the words to be seen, that's why I did it. And I'm also just gonna copy and paste and put it in my Word. That way, I'll be reading it from there as well. That way, we can make sure that you have a clear. Cause like I said, I'm a butcher that shit. When it comes to their names and shit like that, I'm a butcher it, man. I'm a butcher. I can't even get black names right. So if you expect me to get a Greek name, a Roman name, a name, only name I can get right is my own shit. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not an excuse. It's just what it is. I've never been a people person. So getting your name right, all that shit. You did a great job if you got that from me. You know what I mean? Especially if you got a unique name and you see me trying to get it and have it in my head. I mean, I fucks with you. You know what I mean? Because I truly do not hold names in my head. I mean, regular names. It'd be Joseph. You know what I mean? My pop's name. And I couldn't even spell that shit to save my life. I don't know. It's just something with names. I mean, but anyway, let me take this book down, which is a name, Street Skelzy, Knock 'em Out the Box. Go to Amazon, check it out. You can even read it for free. Don't knock it. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to still get credit. Okay. Let's bring this up. All right. Change the screen here. Bring me in it. Right? So now, let's hold on. Let's go to the coin. And see, as you can see, I highlighted it. Right? I highlighted it because I'm going to go over into my Word. But I just wanted you to see it and also the pictures, especially and shit. So let me hold on, bring that back out. Um, let's see. Copy image. Let's go over here. We going in the Word. Now, the only reason why I'm copying that is because they got the coin information, and like I said, this is the original question. All right. Nah. Okay. So the original question says Jesus' tomb should be the biggest tourist attraction known to man. The question is, where the F is it? All right? And so he got the question marks. I didn't put the meme out. I told you I do not, me and the woke community, the conscious community, we do not get along. So they put out these posts, right, questioning the validity of the Bible, which they're supposed to, and I respect that. But they're like children, constantly open question, knowing what the answer is, but won't give it due to the fact that they still need you in that mindset, because if they tell you how it works, when they doing it to you, you're gonna be like, wait a minute, but ain't that what you doing right now? You see what I'm saying? So it behooves them to keep you in the dark while acting like they're giving you this information. You won't see this information anywhere else because nobody is trying to tell you the truth. So let me finish you know, rolling this. Well, not rolling, but you know how I do with my weed, my Cuban style, making sure that it's rolled nicely. Right, good flow and all of that. Right? I was about to bite it, but I got my scissors here, so fuck it. Right? You're gonna get into this in a quick second. Just give me a second here. All right. I also want to paste in that the coinage because we're in the coinage now. Let's see what it means. What it means. So put this here. Let's um. Oh, so it's only letting me paste it as a link. No, I don't want to paste it as a link. So I guess some of that is very protected. They like nah. Hold on, I know what I could do though. Hold on, I just like basically screenshot it. All right, hold on a minute here. Whoa, you can see my backdrop, see myself, cuz. You know what I'm saying? Cuz I'm gonna be there. If we're gonna idol worship, might as well idol worship yourself, right? Hold on. I'm gonna bring this down like this. Just so you know, this is the easy way to jack shit offline. Alright, and go back into my word. Come here and paste. See that? Dang. So now we got this. Alright, so we got this. Alright, so the question again is Jesus' tomb should be, well, it's a statement with a question within a statement. So it's Jesus' tomb should be the biggest tourist attraction known to man. The question is, where the F is it? So, once again, we're into Julius Caesar and the Vatican and its dirty little secret. Okay, so that we're going to get into the coins, another part of our society, right? And so I'm showing how this system is all encompassing. You know, basically everything around you, it engulfs it, takes it, and makes it its own. That's the devil. When I was telling you about raising Dion, and we talk about Brandon, the little white kid, and his powers is basically to place images in your head. Like he tells you, I can't get you to do anything, but I can place the images in your head. And after that, it's on you. To understand that message is very, very powerful. Oh, if you don't see my lighter, it's because it's green. So you see the background there, right? They be it, you don't even see me. All right. That's my green lighter. Oh, it's a reggae song I'm listening to. All right. Let's get into this. And like I said, I copied and pasted this from, Wikipedia. Now, this is just, a history of Julius Caesar, the different intricate parts. I just went straight to his burial. It's like you asked where Jesus was buried, but if you didn't know Julius Caesar was Jesus, you wouldn't have known to look over there. So like I said, my thing is to clear away everything and take you straight to where it's at. If that makes sense, you know. So when you ask a question, sometimes you get the answer, but if you're not willing to accept the answer based on what was already placed in your head and what you see, that's on you, according to the devil, even though he set up everything before you even came. So, how could it be on you when a system was set up way before you came? But they hold you responsible for that. And as the shift change, they hold you responsible for holding fast to the old lie. Because at least the old lie is a lie that you have grown to accept and willing to live comfortable in. The new lie is the problem. You know, it's the new lie that you got a problem with, but you don't even know that you was in an old lie. You don't know how the old lie was set up. Or they telling you that it was a lie, giving you halfway truths, enough of a truth to prove that you were living in a lie, but not enough truth to prevent you from living in the new one. I'm doing both. I'm going to take you out the old lie and hopefully help you prevent you from walking into the new lie. Because it ain't just one thing. If you ain't understanding this whole system, then you're going to constantly stay in that, what you call it, like hamster wheel. So I'm trying to get you off the hamster wheel. Right? Let's get into this right here. Hold on a minute. Oh man. Right? It goes. Let me see if I should take, you can see it? I take myself away. I just be forgetting to come back. Oh wait, we're about to take a break in like 2 minutes, so I'm gonna just give you a quick thing. Tracing the coinage from 44 BC through the developing rule of Augustus reveals the changing relationship of Julius Caesar to the Sidious Ilium. Ilium. I found out that was an I, the first letter. I thought it was an L. It's an I. So it's Ilium. Robert Gavot notes that the shifting status of Caesar's comet into the coinage, wait, yeah, into the coinage follows the definite. Oh, okay, my fault. See, kicking in the weed. This is why I make sure that y'all can see it. Well, you know what I'm saying? Just want to make sure y'all can see it too, so y'all can laugh and be honest, nigga. See this comment. The coinage follows a definite pattern. We about to go to the break, so I'm just gonna leave it right there. That way you can laugh at me too. Like I'm laughing, like you know, I don't live in a world of embarrassment. You know what I mean? I live in a world of getting it out there, the truth. So even if you gotta look buffoonish and all of that to get that message out there, you gotta do what you gotta do. You know? That's just what I know. So, me back to my clown suit. Gotta look foolish. I'm saying it's just what it is, right? All right. Let's bring you back up. Representation of the deified. Okay. The representation of the deified Caesar as a star appeared relatively quickly, occurring within several years of his death. About 20 years, let me see where we at. About 20 years passed, however, before the star completely completed its transformation into a comet. Starting in 44 BC, a moneymaker named P. Sepulus Mercer created coins with the front displaying Julius Caesar crowned with a wreath and a star behind his head. The understanding the transformation of imagery has worked since then to now. Me being a writer, I have full understanding. Not to say I'm the greatest writer, not to say it at all. You know, I'm not even going to stand there and say that because I'm not willing to implement certain things into my writing, which is going to spark a, something inside your brain. A hidden message, subliminal. I'm not willing to play that game. I told you, anybody, like 90% out of the people are Masons or the tools of a Mason. 90% out of the people around you are tools of the Mason. Perhaps even yourself. Be honest with you. You know what I mean? Perhaps even yourself. Check your dialogue. Check your dialogue. See how your wordings and the things that you say, and probably inside there, you'll discover wait a minute, they in my brain too. So I could be a tool, right? Like I said, in learning, I became a tool. I say, hey, let's build. Doesn't a mason build? So am I not indoctrinated into that instead of saying, hey, we're going to sit down and talk and have this conversation? No, I use the terminology putting out there. That's a trigger. Build. Masons build, right? So then right there, you are taking this persona upon you as if you were that craft maker. But that's something he put out there to identify his work. That's how you know it's under that system. You get it? So, hopefully this stuff makes sense to you. Hopefully, somewhere inside there, this is like, oh shit. I see what's going on here. Right? So, where we at here? Defined Caesar appeared relatively quickly, occurring within several years of his death. About 20 years passed, however, before the star completely transformed into a comet. Starting in 44 BC, a money-maker named P. Cespilius Mercer created coins with the front displaying Julius Caesar crowned with a wreath and a star behind his head. On the back, Venus, the patron goddess of Julian family, holds a star scepter. Gaval maintains that this coin was minted about the time of Caesar's assassination, thus, probably would not have originally referred to his deification. It is circulated, however, um, it would have brought that idea to mind because Caesar's new cult, Kenneth Scott's older works, the Citius Ilium and the Appellius of Caesar consist, no, contest this by assuming that the comet did indeed spark this series because of similarities to other coins he produced. Right? So it's just like whenever you see these little numbers, these are references, that you can go check at the bottom and you can go to other books and, read those. That's what research is about. Like researching. What I provided you is a new search. Through my research, I was researching other people's information, but on a new search to reveal it all. So I'm giving you my search. So now you can go research it, see if it's actual fact. This was my search. I went on a personal journey to find the truth. Hopefully, you are able to save time with knowing the truth, not the half truths, not something to shift you one way or another, not to jump in the fray with my little 2 cents because I learned it. Now, here, let me go out and manipulate the people. No. Rather, but to truly set the people free. No strings attached. Not a what you call it? Uh GoFundMe or Cash Apps or none of listen. This is free information meant to free the mind. So don't think that this stops just with Jesus. Oh no. That's just a small part of the scheme. Believe it or not. That's still just a piece of a bigger scheme. So even those people are a tool. Even those people are a tool. That's why when it's all said and done, it's an expendable thing. It's just a shifting of the currency, the power. And as long as the people buy into that, he who holds it holds the power. So what I'm doing is actually placing the power within the hands of the people. Truly. nothing written down to right. It's just there. I'm going off of other people's written works, searches, information in order. This is not telling you it. This article or this this article or within, because you got to remember Wikipedia is just an encyclopedia. If you know what an encyclopedia back in the days, you're still getting encyclopedias. So it's the same way of being able to use that encyclopedia to jump around and get information. It's just now, it's just all in your fingertips. Understanding something from other experiences put me here. Like I told you, I have a book coming out called Job in the Stone. So even from that information is going to lead you to this information. But like I told you, this is just like a chapter or something within the book and giving it this broad understanding because this system is that ill that it takes these just to break down one thing in all of this part. This is not memes. This is not something that you answer with just a simple answer. And this is why the confusion of the people is so strong. Because it's sporadic, it's attached to so much, and you would sound like, what? And nobody is sitting there listening. So now I put it in your hands where even if you choose to like if I could put markers in like where you'll know, okay, from here to here, these are the subjects. Now you can just go through the titles of them, where we at, and that way you can just do your own research if I'm taking too long. You know what I mean? So are you. But my objective is to make sure you have a totality of what's going on. Understand that the craftsmen are the people who's able to perform this task now, to move it to its next place. So when you hear the woke community, and you'll notice, communism is a very ambiguous thing, right? So let me go into why I'm bringing this up. All right. Okay, this is the original right here. This is the Roman coinage. Just so you know, it's not me, just making this up out of thin air. This is showing you a connection of the stars now, just off of this one person, like all of this stuff that's built around him. So it's the same way of turning George Washington into a god of America. Or whenever you see that phallic symbol, that's what the symbolization is, you know, and that also is, how to destroy a nation because it's the birth of a new nation, right? Through the father, but it's the offspring, Horus, who, the revolution and those type of things, who goes and fight back against the oppressor. So this is a story about revolution. When people see that symbol, that the painting of the child on the lap with the mother, they do not realize that She's the one who's going to put the information into the child. Now, if she truly loved the husband, right, but they make sure that they keep this tension. So she's not going to implant the values and the things because they put a wedge between the man and woman. That's a lesson, right? How to put a wedge between them. So now that there's this barrier between them, you can control the sides. So now, if like cattle, you open the rams to let the bull in to produce or to slow down. There's no R&B. There's all of these type of things are infested with more negativity than a positive. And when it's brought back in positive in the feminine way, it has these gay and all of that overtones, especially for the male. Not even just more feminine, but totally gay. So, that's another thing where you have children. Like, this is something you're not even supposed to let your children after I'm gonna be honest with you. Once your kid hit like 8 or 9, I'd rather them just playing or video games. I'm being honest with you. Like, you good on all of that. All of that over there, leave it alone. Just play the video games. Then, especially I'm gonna be, involved. So I'm gonna know, which ones you engage in, what you know what I mean? And that way you know what's taking place. But everything else is basically dictated by that system. It's taken over. Oh, you now to even suggest to make money, you have to put this in there. The whisper. It's like, when they was telling artists, yo, talk about this, yo, I'm telling you, you get in the industry. Then, yo, talk about the ladies, yo, I'm telling you. First, they was telling you, talk that gangster shit, because look what happened. Look how NWA blew up. I'm telling you, kick that gangster shit. That's what they want to hear. Telling you, that's what they want to hear. Kick the gangster shit. And so everybody was told this is what they want to hear. Then when the shift was happening, it's yo, make music for the women. Not to say you're not supposed to do that, but was you know what I mean? So that meant you were supposed to make the killer music is what I'm pointing out. So, when somebody tries to manipulate that narrative, oh look, he no, I pointed out first how they promoted to make the gangster music as well. So it wasn't a domination of one over the other. It's pay attention how the shift happens. It's not an accident. This is how you move a people. So once you have this knowledge, you're like, okay, now I get it. You place these messages that have already this common universal stance of how society is structured. So you don't tamper with the structure, you just tamper with how the cattle operate. You understand what I'm saying? That's why they can say sheeple and these type of things. You got, hey, isn't a sheep, cattle? I mean, maybe not a cow, but isn't it like, you know what I mean? Whatever. I'm thinking cattle was like that whole shit, right? You know what I mean? Like, you farm property, motherfuckers. whatever, whatever terminology that is, that's what you are. About to take a break in 17 seconds. You know what I mean? But we gonna keep going. Don't worry about it. I ain't stopping. I just, you know, talking some shit every once in a while. All right, all right. Let's get back into this. Oh yeah, I wanted to take you over, because I already spoke. We're always gonna mention this chicanery. This is one of the things that I always tell you because this is like the core of Freemasonry or this system. It's known as Freemasonry now, but chicanery is like its true name. Chicanery, and even that can shift, but that essence, what that is the the core of what moves the people, you know what I mean, due to their desires to, you know, indulge in a little of the bad side. We all, you know what I mean, want to. Some of us seen so much bad that we was engulfed around it till we understood it. Like, oh, you understand what I'm saying? So for me, it's like I don't want to see nobody else in it. Like just trapped in it. So I want them free. I want them to be able to know, like, oh, this is a hustle. This is, a con, right? And so I want to also introduce double talk, right? Let me take me away for a quick second. Deliberately unintelligible speech combining nonsense syllables and actual words, right? But we're going to also go into another term for double speak. Right now, you hear a lot of people. I've been putting people onto this. This is how you know I put it out. So when you hear it, you hear people, clubhouse, yo, yeah, oh, you just, they didn't know this stuff. You know what I mean? They wasn't talking about it. They wasn't breaking this down to you. Double speak, right? Those are my children, but they wicked. They not there to free you. They trying to emulate it so they can go out and corrupt it. That's their job. To gather anything and then take upon it and make it that. So that way, oh yeah, yeah, that too. They did, but you can't get dirt on this. You see? You see, this is how it works. But this information, that's why I tell you, so it's free. It's nothing. I'm just showing you how it works. That's how you know I have no ulterior part of me. Right? That's how you know I have no ulterior motive. Right? It says deliberately, euphemistic, right? Ambiguous or obscure language. The art of political double speak, right? You know, I be doing once I start smoking, so I still wanted to give y'all that, but I'll be fucking up for a second. Now the style is hold on a minute. As you can see, all of this right here, right? These are what whenever you see these type of tactics being brought upon you, you know what I mean? Understand what is happening. So when you think of all, don't think just double speak. Understand the synonyms. So now you understand like when somebody is being vague and they talking, you know, they being, a lot of ambiguity, a lot of uncertainty. Best one. That's probably the best way to spot double speak. I give you some examples. Yo, I'm gonna pick you up around 7. You gonna be ready? Yeah, should be. Should is an ambiguous word. It has no guarantee. It's an open statement. Once you say I should be, you left it as an open statement. So then you could turn around and look at the person who did say if I decide to leave. Oh man, this dude wasting my time. I'm out. You could turn around and look at the person at yo man, yo they fucked up, yo they just left me. You know what I mean? And so that's double speak in its primitive form. Like when it's most beginning form where after a while you realize nobody gonna accept that weak ass what like yeah fuck him. You know what I'm saying? He keeps saying the same shit and then thinking that I'm supposed to go for that. You know what I mean? So those are the things that one needs to understand. Don't just take a word and think that, oh yeah, I can just use it. Understand what it means. So when you hearing people saying double talk and double speak, understand that this is an a art. That's why you always pay attention to the script writers. Like when Dave Chappelle said he why he left Hollywood, he gave you the devil. Hey Dave, yo, we wrote this. Yo, here you should do this. When to start implanting the message. You could have a whole thing going, but when these script writers transform your whole story into a basic rerun of something else, but just with new slangs or stuff like that, and just have your name on it, that's just that. So Dave Chappelle was able to repel it because that's Dave Chappelle's show. he was offering what him and his squad was bringing to the table. So when they saying, yo, do this, he's like, wait a minute, the whisper of the devil. The whisper of the devil. Right? And so then now, excuse me. So now the craftsman got the smoke. Right? So now the craftsman can perform their task. So if you really want to know who's the facilitators, learn the behind the scenes people, the set designer, because the set designer is gonna be placing the imagery to put you in that trance. So you always gotta, if you want to know the facilitators, check the set designers. Remember, they're in the guilds. You know what a guild is. So there you go, right? Now maybe later I'll put a guild up. I'm just hoping you know what a guild is, so I'm not going to go into it. You know what I mean? So to understand the guild, to understand this craft, then you know that the editor of a, pardon me, right? You would know that the editor, say this, right? You would know the editors, they are in the craft because they can place it within the wordings. These are the people, the craftsmen. You want to know great craftsmen? Check out people who do the crossword puzzles. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Understand the crossword puzzles in that craft. It's a craft. Might not know it. I'll break it down, but you know. So let's get into. Yeah, I'm touching some shit. All right. Let's go back into the I gave you the the double speak, double talk. Right? Uh, so now we back into the coinage, right? So we go back down here. Where we at? Did this series because of similarities to other coins he produced. Wait, where we at? We should be up here. Take it from the chat. Oh, my phone. Close in. Uh, Okay. About the time of Caesar's assassination, and does probably not have originally referred to his deification. At its circulation, however, it would have brought that idea to mind because of Caesar's new cult. Because of Caesar's new cult. Mm. Caesar contests where we at? about to say Caesar contests this. Kenneth Scott ordered older work of Citius, Ilium, and the Appius of Caesar contest this by assuming that the comet did indeed speak this no spark this series because of similarities to other coins he produced. A series of Rome, aurori, and denarii minted for this cult began to show Mark Antony in a star, which most likely represented his position as Caesar's priest. And later coins likely originating near the end of Octavius' war with Sextus Pompey, the star completely supplements um Caesar's name and face entirely, clearly representing his divinity. Let me bring this up here some so you can see it. All right. Okay. Okay. One of the clearest and earliest correlates of correlations of Caesar to the comet occurred during the Selector Games. No, secular games. My fault. It's funny, man. I know this shit and I'm still getting it wrong. Okay, one of the clearest and earliest correlations of Caesar's to a comet occurred during the secular games in 17 BC when moneymaker M, I can't get his name, fashioned coins who reserve sports a comet over a head of a wreathed man whom Classius and Numismatists speculate is either a youthful Caesar, the genius of the secular games in the Julius family, or Arenas, son of Ilias. These coins strengthen the link between Julius Caesar and Augustus, since Augustus associated himself with the Julians. Another set of Spanish coins displayed an eight-ray comet with the words Divus Illunius, meaning divine Julius. So, this cult placed this within the money, placed it with the connection of the stars, a comet at that time, which was the greatest thing. We're going through this understanding. I'm hoping that you see this. I'm hoping that this is not something that you were just sitting there going, nah. Yeah, this is a system, a bona fide system. This is deep. This is not by accident. To see a connection through all of these ways of your everyday life. And as they say, as above, as below. and have you trapped with all of the mumbo jumbo that you get in between the afterlives and seeing Jesus and every last one of them is full of shit. That's all I'm telling you. Let me tell you a story, right? Like I told you, I was young. I didn't know anything of God. Didn't know the concept. Didn't know that. Matter of fact, I probably heard of Jesus, and, so more that God was Jesus. You know what I mean? It was like the same thing. So, so even if I heard God, you would always just associate Jesus. Anyway, I wasn't raised in that system. Right? I didn't know about an Allah. I didn't know none of that. Like literally, that whole Abrahamic understanding, I had no understanding, none. I learned it from everybody else, like y'all. Like it wasn't in my house. So I did not know any of it. I truly, you know what I mean? Only person that I could tell you who who said anything about that type of stuff, was my aunt, and she was viewed as crazy. I'm just being honest. You know what I mean? Like nobody paid attention to her. You know what I mean? Like so for me, it was an odd, always was, always will be an odd conversation. You understand what I'm saying? Like, okay. So I'm saying that to say when I was growing up, I went, like say around like 7, 8, 9. I used to ask a friend of mine's moms, about the Bible. And the good thing is, she was as being a female, she was exploring. And then because of her exploring, I was able to ask questions because I seen her, going from like different styles of churches, like Seventh Day Avengers, or you know what I mean, just these different styles. So it always, I guess, allowed her to allow me to ask questions, whether it was frustrating or not. You understand what I'm saying? This little motherfucker, you know what I mean? It still was two people hammering it out, if that makes sense. Like it wasn't, maybe somebody else might have saw it, as something else. But at at one moment in that, it wasn't a conflict. It was just, we trying to find out. So I was able to ask. The reason why I'm saying that is because I used to go with them to churches. Now, me, I'm the type of person, if I don't know you, like I'm not gonna just be, giving you my name out. Like I said, I'd never been in this environment. This is like a cult to me. So I'm a young kid going into an environment, seeing this and got, downstairs they had the food. Like these are different churches, but like I just remember this one church for a reason. Now, and it's in Harlem, right? I remember being in Harlem. I know it was down, I want to say the 30s or the 40s, like 130th, 140th Street, down that way. But anyway, like I said, as a young kid, this, resonated in my mind. I remember her, we going in a taxi. I remember, them giving me a suit. Cause like I said, I was not raised, and I truly was unaware of any of this stuff, and my family didn't care about it. So if you want to do it with them, that's on you. But we ain't into that shit. That's how they was holding it. Like I wasn't aware of that then. It wasn't like a conversation even with me. It's like, well, if you want to go over there, we ain't have whatever. That's how they was handling it. So I never, like I said, was indoctrinated. So I walk in there, and I think it was because of this part. Like I said, my father's name was Joseph, right? So when I went in the church and they asked me my name, I told them Joseph. Little did I know had anything to do with the Bible. I found out literally right there. I didn't even know that. That's what I'm telling you. Like none of that shit was ever spoken to me. So I'm like, shit. I'm like, but I'm trapped in it. And she at 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 up into, I think, right then. I don't think even after then we fell out, but I know that played a major part because in her mind that was my name. His mother, like, like, because me and her had this open dialogue and search for that, but she was still in trust of that. Because remember, she was always searching to try to be a part of that. You see what I'm saying? So, and that is like, I think, like, probably was like a oh, you need like a bad kid. You know what I mean? But what I'm saying is, I'm in church. I did that, and I remember them, being in there. Now, I don't know if you ever been in, like a black church or something, but it was like the Holy Ghost part where you stand up there, you had your hands out, and you're supposed to feel the Lord, and you do your testimony and all of that, whatever. I'm young, I didn't know none of this shit. I'm uncouth. I ain't got nobody there to, tell me how to behave. None of that. The training. I didn't have the the indoctrination. So I go up. I'm like, whatever that is, and whatever this power is, I want to be a part of it. I was like my friend's mother. Like I literally never spoke to my peoples about it. Like they never mentioned it, and I was like, oh well. I never had a conversation with him about it. Like, oh well, just left it alone. So I mean, only at that moment, not the whole time I was questioning, like I was falling indoctrinated. Nah, I just asked. It didn't make sense to me, so I was kept asking questions. She kept trying to offer me answers to the best of her abilities, right? But it didn't add up. It sounded more freestyle. Like you having me read this book. I'm doing it with to the best of my ability. It was in like King James Version, thou shalt, and ping ponging your head up and shit. You know what I mean? So, that's that. Inside of that, I'm like, yeah, whatever. You trying to double talk me, as a young kid. I'm figuring out that you still not saying what the fuck this is saying. Since you had me read it, I know what the fuck I read. I might not be saying it great, but I know what the fuck I read. So she kept saying things that wasn't adding up. You see what I'm saying? And me and her, me being this personality that you see right now, even then. So I'm like, nah, you know what I mean, laughing and talking, and you know what I mean, and just being cool. Like it's not an attack on you; it's just being honest. What you're saying is not adding up, and I guess you respecting the fact that you on your journey anyway, and you realizing that it's not adding up. So I just left it as that. I never had like any, you know. So I'm not a Bible basher. You got Bible thumpers and you got Bible bashers. I'm not a Bible basher because I know genuine people really believe that. I simply can ask you questions. I don't have to. Oh, you yo, and well, let me hear. If you so confident, then let's sit down and look at some information real quick. I'm not going off these books that other people told you there's nothing. You cannot find any books on what I'm saying to you. You find it. You find the books, and then we can sit down and see if they match up. And then cool. Me and that person, was on the same path. But what I'm telling you is beyond just that scheme anyway. I'm telling you the great scheme. As I'm talking, I'm revealing the great scheme to you. So just giving you this history would be frivolous if it didn't have this side notes that I offer. So like I said, I'm in church, got my hands out, right? Because I'm watching all of these people do it. I think I went there like 3 times. Hold on. I think I went there like 3 times before I said, yo, fuck it. Let me go find this Holy Ghost. Right? I said, let me go find this Holy Ghost. Right? So I could you know, because I can't get the answers from them. I'm one of them people that I'm not stopping until I get the answer. So that's why me and liars and all of that don't get along, because if I hear and see something that's not right, I'm gonna want the answers. Now here's the catch. I respect a bullshit artist. Like me, I wouldn't be mad at my son if he bullshitted me. Right? It is what I mean by bullshit. Right? Well, first let me explain, the difference with a lie and a fairy tale, right? A lie can only exist within a truth. A lie cannot exist without truth attached to it, because that would be a fairy tale. That would be totally made up with nothing to work the hustle, the con, because a lie is a con, right? So if you can turn a lie into bullshit, which is like basically, I fucked up, you know what I mean, type of a thing. Like, and let me give you an example. You were supposed to be home at 3 o'clock. You come home at 4. Yo, what happened? Why you late? Yo, dad, it was crazy, right? I was on my way home, right? I seen an alien, right? Well, it was alien shit. You know what I mean? And you're like, yo, get the fuck out. And they like, and they give you that look like, yo, you know what I mean? Whatever, whatever. You know, they explain it for whatever, just to break the ice. You know what I mean? I'm into that. I'm into, you know, like, listen, and I'm not gonna bullshit you, but I'm gonna bullshit you at first, just so you know what I mean. Don't be mad, man. I fucked up. I know I fucked up. Okay, yo, and you just move on because everybody has a sense of devilishment in them. That's how the devil wins. He has like finances or whatever you want that. He tells you these are the things you have to do. That's why the internet can be controlled through bickering and gossip and these type of things because that's the devil at play. You so caught up inside all of that, you don't even know that you being shifted and teamed up and pushed into a direction, but yet, still all follow an agenda. That's why when you hear even through the gangs, oh, it was this and this gang came out of, yeah, or he wanted to be in this and, like that. Do your research into this stuff and you see. You be like, oh man, this is a system. So either way, and if you young, you don't know that you programmed into that. Me, I know how to utilize it because I never been indoctrinated into anything. I never took an oath or a pledge to any fucking thing in my fucking life. I never even did the Pledge of Allegiance as a kid. You asking me to give a blind oath to something. I don't know. But like I said, I wasn't indoctrinated into the unknown. Since I wasn't indoctrinated into the unknown, I've always been cautious to side myself in totality with anything. Meaning that I'll mess with, gang members or whatever. Fuck it. I mean, I know some honorable, gang members for whatever honorable means to anybody. You know what I mean? Whatever it might mean to you. I know some stand up dudes for whatever they professed out of their mouth, is what I mean by honorable. So if they said that this is what it is and they gonna hold that down, that's honorable. And I mean within group settings. Anybody, like if you gotta hold your own, you hold your own. But if you go in with a unit, everybody there is basing each other not off of loyalty, but honor. What you professed out of your mouth. Yo, word up, I get down. Yo, I do this. What you professed. That's why lies and all of that I take seriously. How you bullshit. If you could throw a little, look or a smirk, like most people know if I'm bullshit, I throw like a little, you know what I'm saying? Like a little smirk. Because I'm known to be straight face even in comedy. But if I'm bullshitting you, something about me cannot do that without offering that. Like, not now. What I'm saying is I'm laughing because I'm an asshole by nature. You understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm natural this because I never was indoctrinated into that type of shit. Just to be honest, not to be offensive, it's just the truth. I tell you that because I really didn't know that. I didn't know this system, and it's a system, so I didn't know it. For me, it was okay. don't sound right. Until you give me answers, I'm never gonna buy into anything. So when you enter any system, you have to be honorable to where your words hold that weight. And so I never took a pledge of loyalty because, homie, I don't know who you personally are, everybody in this organization personally is. And I learned that through my father. I tell people all the time, Corey Wise, which is one of the Central Park joggers, went to school with me. You know what I mean? He was actually in my class when he got caught up in his crime. He didn't do though. What I'm saying is, what he got accused for. Not the rape part, but wilding, going in the Central Park in these places, and catching juxes and all of that. I was known for that. Like a wowler, what you per se. You know what I mean? Like dudes who just jack boys, the dudes who go out there, you know, and do that. Whether it be the 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 clothes, going into there and snatching the clothes, or like just any all of that against that. So I went through those basic basically that movement, if you were to call it that. Like, I went through it. I went through. So my pops one day came to me, right? Because what I mean by that movement, I mean it was like 20. You know, well, at that time, I'm gonna say it was probably like around, probably like 12 of us on my porch. You know what I mean? And this is like what I was doing. Just my regular routine of hanging out, nighttime, going out, you know, doing junctions and stuff like that. So my pops came to me and he was like, "Yo, you love me?" I was like, "Yeah." It's like like that, like, all right. Then he turns around and he says, "Yo, you love my grandmother? Do you love your grandmother?" Did he say? Right? I was like, "Yeah." He was like, "Yo, then he basically broke down that the dudes that you around, you don't know them. You know what y'all do, but that doesn't change that they can't turn around and do it to you. Now, no matter how wild you might take, or people might have took me to be, stupid was one thing I was never. So, from that conversation, I never brought anybody back to hang out. Like, I mean, like, unless you was like an individual and, I knew where you live and I knew your family and, like, you wasn't coming to my crib. And I don't really deal with a lot of people. You know what I mean? So was there a lot of people coming by? Was it going to a lot of places? Just like that. You know, and that even came for females, especially for the females, because as your grandmother, whatever, you don't want to just be bringing anybody because Like my grandmother was a cool person. Like she, like I said, she did not um hinder alpha. My grandmother did not hinder alpha. I think she rather felt it comfortable, even though she didn't like me being it at her too. Meaning that like I'm gonna be an asshole all the time. Like it's never gonna be anybody that's ever gonna be off the radar. So even my grandmother, could get the asshole. And so, outside of that, she did not interrupt. Like she was just like, hey, whatever. So like meaning that if I brought females over or whatever, she didn't be like have those problems. Like, yo, don't bring bring females over. Like it was just like, hey, you know what I mean? Like, I guess I don't know. I don't want to speak for. Probably thinking, hey, I need some grandkids. And little basketball wind up getting killed. You know what I mean? Get it out the way, nigga. You know what I mean? So I never, I always um kept in mind that I didn't want to be selfish because I'm that selfish. If that makes sense. Like I didn't want to bring somebody into the world knowing I was living a lifestyle that any fucking minute I could be out of here. You know what I mean? So until I had actually had my goddaughter, like I was on some like fuck it. Like whatever. That kind of like slowed me down, but like I said, I still wind up, getting incarcerated anyway. So it didn't really change, but my perspective of things um changed. So that's why I didn't want like pictures of, guns and all of that around I didn't want none of that. I didn't want especially associated with me. You know what I mean? It's worse enough people have an image of you and they got an image of you. Whether they portray it as semi good or semi bad, it's both. You know what I mean? And so you don't want that negative perspective to get out because it can be perceived as a positive when you dealing with youth. So I accepted the negative and I feared what would it contribute to the person, that might see it. Like say my goddaughter, if she sees the image of this person who's supposed to be this type of thing, right? Then do I contribute to this is my logic even back then. You know what I mean? So do I contribute to that imagery? You know what I mean? Am I, questioning myself, like, would I be actually contributing to it? And because of that questioning, I said, you know what? Nah, I didn't want those type of things because I didn't want to be um, like I said, and this is okay. This is around the time of Biggie and all of that. So now I put that in perspective of why I never liked Me Against the World, All Eyes on Me. I knew the negative messages that was being put in because the person like they'll tell you I was studying and understanding the messages and the secretness of it back then. So that's the 90s. Biggie and Pac was the 90s. I was given this message since the 90s. Everything I'm saying now. So that's telling you how hard it is to break the minds because it's too much information. So I said, you know what, here, let me put it in these little videos and leave it like that. Give you, this personal insight showing that, yeah, I was aware even back then of the damage of that imagery now. So we talking about, remember, imagery, above, below, everything was still there. So I'm showing you how a tactic was used on our people for mass, genocide. But place it on the people, put the message within the brain, and then step back and say, it wasn't me. I remember, right? I'm gonna go look on YouTube. I'm pretty sure I could find it again. Um, Videos of New York news, right? Like, it wasn't Fox. I don't think Fox was around at this time. Oh, probably was, but I know Fox was like one of them come ups. You know what I mean, to be honest. So, around that time, it used to be, so it probably was Fox. You know what I mean? Now that I'm thinking about the concept of what I'm saying, right? There used to be on the bottom in the like, okay, see how you got the clock right here? It would be a counter telling you how many people had got killed in the city that year. Like, this was when they was always having these competitions of how many blacks got killed off in that city. So there's a record of it, of that. And then we got those who went to jail and, right? So all of this is documented. They also implemented, the young black man endangered species, right? So now you have this imagery of, damn, just like right now with the young kids out here, the same imagery. Yo, you can't even make a video, boom, boom, right? And so now everybody and this is the new high alert. So back then it was, one, and don't even see it to 25, and this was put in the movies from Boys in the Hood to, I believe, New Jack City, and all of them. I'm just showing you the diversity of, so-called diversity, the bombardment of those movies at that time. So when you look at the young kids today and you're overlooking everything that they set in place for the youth, and then you wonder why the grandmothers try to protect the children because, usually the parents are in a buffer zone. I waited till I was in my 30s till I had my son. Deliberately. Knowing that, okay, maybe I might not even make it through the storm. Meaning, all of the messages, and I gotta stay, alert and watch both sides, the messages that was given to the women. So I gotta watch that. Knowing the craft. Knowing the craft. I gotta watch all of that. You understand what I'm saying? So, knowing that, you become like, oh man, Here we go with the BS. Right, here goes some people that's gonna run, some type of game, and they're under that union. So I didn't want to be a part of it. And this is what I mean by when you watch these people, these pardon me, right? Watch these people, you know, and understand what you are up against. Really, man, what you are up against. If you don't know what you are up against, I'm not even judge you. I go, okay, I understand. Shit. Who would know? Who would know? Who told them? Has anybody told them that this is the true essence of technology? A master craftsman of manipulation. And then to even shift that imagery. That's skills. That's skills. So I'm here for that. You know what I mean? I'm here to give you the raw facts. You know what I mean? So we could go into the next part. We got like 5 minutes to the break. I know I'll be taking up certain times, but for everything there's a reason. Okay. On my phone. Make sure this is up. All right. All right. In literature. Right, this is the literature part. Hopefully y'all can see it. If not, I'm gonna copy and paste and send it over to the other side. All right. Um, Matter of fact, yeah, just give me a second. I didn't, like I said, I didn't do this for the purpose of already having it. So we're gonna just copy and paste it here. I work on the fly, so that way you know, it's not like some scheme to get you caught up in some thought process. Just the facts. I'm just presenting the facts to you. You take it or not is on you. You know what I mean? Let's see here. Um, okay. Where we at? Oh, okay. So, I can see this. Good, good. Okay. The poet Virgil writes in his ninth eculogue, right? That the star of Caesar has my phone. I don't know why it's not there. Right? Oh, y'all can't even see it anyway, can y'all? Oh yeah, y'all can see it up there. Um oh, it's just staying right there. The star appeared to gladden the fields. Um Virgil. Okay, my fault. Let's take this one at a time. I'm looking at that fucking. That shit like, like fucking irritating. Y'all see this shit right here, man? Come on, man, for real. Y'all don't. That shit is like the most irritating. I'm easily distracted with stupid shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm easily distracted. What the fuck is this? Hold on. Um. Uh, um. Alright. Up here. Hopefully it's going down. Okay. Like wasted 3 fucking minutes of that shit. The poet Virgil writes in his ninth eulogy that the star of Caesar has appeared to gladden the fields. Virgil later writes in the period following Julius Caesar's assassination, never did fearsome comments so often blaze. Garland points out that this passage is no way linked to comment that Caesar divine status, but rather links comment to his death. Meaning basically, okay, here goes a comment. We know that comments can be associated with a good or a bad omen. Most of the time, is associated with a bad, right? So the they basically said that, at that time they were saying that, yeah, this comet is this great thing that, yeah, this is proving his divinity, how he's this um chosen, divine being, right? But then he's pointing out, wait a minute, that would be so if that was at his birth. But this comet is coming at his death. So that doesn't make sense, right? And this is where you get the alpha and the omega from, right? We're going to get into that as well. How does this wording in this flip within the people? And you understand that through the double talk and the double speech that I always refer to. So here go the break. You know, I'm gonna move it, preparing some weed. So where we at? Oh, so inside of this, you get this alpha, omega, and the sun. We're gonna get into the sun and all of these things because when you talk to the woke community, because like I said, this is also in combatants to the half as woke information because the woke information is also meant to shift you towards the new enlightenment, which is nothing more than shifting the people into a new way of life, new world order. So when you see in this shift happening globally, it's just the proof that it worked. You understand what I'm saying? So when they tell you it's the great reset and all of that, oh yeah, it's happening. Most likely I won't be around for it. You know what I mean? But I can guarantee you the youth will. And so what I say is to give to you, that way you can give it to the youth. Right? That's what my objective is. My objective is to give it to you so that way they won't give the lie to them. Because if one side is lying and the other side is lying just to push you, they let you live the lie until they take that veil off, but they got the collar on you. So, yeah, you still hoodwinked and bamboozled. While they acting like they freed you from the lie, they never told you the truth. They just exposed the lie. It's just, and I had an experience with that. But it was a young lady, right? And I was a young dude at the time, not to be excusing, but I was a young dude, and she was walking down the block, and no matter of fact, she was yeah, they was walking down the block. A couple of people that I knew, so I approached them, like it was good. And inside that, I seen the young lady. I hollered at her. Yo, it was good. You know what I mean? She gave me a number, all of that. Um, Nobody told me that, she was pregnant. I didn't know. I just met her right there on the spot. Now she was, guess she was really early inside of it. Didn't know what she was gonna do, whatever. But even the people around me never said nothing, right? So only now, mind you, the reason why I'm saying this is the only way I found out was because somebody got mad at her and was like, yeah, well, you didn't even tell him, So I turned around, told him, like anybody else who knew, you only telling me because you mad at the person. You not telling me because you have my best interest in heart. You proved that. Because the whole time that I was hollering at the person, it wasn't like a day. You instead of saying it was like for a brief moment. You never said nothing. Nobody never said anything. Oh, I thought she said, no, you can't say that because when it came out, clearly everybody knew and nobody said anything. You see what I'm saying? So to that is you not helping me and you're not my friend. How could you be my friend and acting like, oh, but I'm telling you, no. You only telling me because you made an enemy. And so you're looking for an ally. I choose not to be your friend because you're not mine. If you sat there, your morals tells you that that's okay. You understand what I'm saying? Like morally, because anybody that's around me, they tell you, "Yeah, I'm blowing it up. If it's some bullshit, hey, calling you out. People consider me a bully because I never had a problem putting motherfuckers on blast. That's the reality. If somebody tells you, oh, he a bully, nah, nah, nah. I just never been afraid to tell the truth. Considering that's almost like damn near how I almost lost my life most of the time. As a youth, I mean before 5. Just simply telling the truth. So to survive after the assassination of telling the truth, of simply telling the truth, I developed I'm going all out with that agenda. Like, if I have any purpose on this planet, I can forgive a liar depending, like I told you, depending on what its reasoning is and how you are approaching growing up. When I say growing up, I mean, I don't want to say manning up or womaning up, just growing up, taking a sense of responsibility. Even if you know it's going to be that fear and all of those things that might cause you to lie. So give this wild shit, then bring it all in For me, I don't know how. Like that's the only way I accept shit. If you must be a liar, that's the only type of lying I accept. To man up within the lie, not switch the lie to another location. That's not manning up or womening up or whatever the case may be. So let's go into this right here. The poet Virgil, right? Okay, death, right? Salphius Sicilius makes mention of the comment in his eulogies as a boding sign of the civil strife that would plague Rome after Caesar's death. It is Ovid, however, who makes the final assertion of the comment's role in Julius Caesar's defecation. Whatever, man. Ovid describes um um the deathification of Caesar in Metamorphosis 8 AD. I guess this is a writing, right? Remember, I don't have this in its web form. Okay. Jupiter, the father spoke. Take up Caesar's spirit from his murdered corpse and change it into a star, so that the defied Julius may always look down from his high temple on our capital and forum. He had barely finished when gentle Venus stood in the midst of the Senate, seen by no one, and took up the newly freed spirit of her Caesar from his body, and preventing it from vanishing into the air, carried it towards the glorious stars. As she carried it, she felt it glow and take fire. It loosed it from in her breast and climbed higher than the moon, and drawing behind its fiery tail shone as a star. Within the writings of that time, see, right now you might not understand the impact, but understand the impact of the writings that you see today. The yo, you gotta read this person. Yo, I'm telling you, yada yada yada. That within that comes these Alex Haley writes Roots, or Alex Haley didn't Alex Haley write the autobiography of Malcolm X, right? Well, I think this probably was his last book. I'm not really sure. So this is just that same thing. Then Jupiter, the father spoke. Jupiter, we're in the sky. They're utilizing the sky to tell this story, giving a breakdown, right? Jupiter's the big, the big planet, right? When we talk about stars, fame, now you understand where the term stars come from, right? So I'm just wanted to give that. Then it's, take Caesar's spirit from the murdered corpse, Freemasonry, right? And change it into a star. Think about when you see the videos and all of that, and you see them, blowing up and then coming out the fire. This is the reference. So all of the stuff that you hear, understand when you're talking about the phoenix and all of that, this is the transformation. So that's why, you'll see it retransform once again into its new owners, the feminist movement, right? You even have, what's the X-Men, what's her name? Phoenix, Dark Phoenix, and right? Understand how these stories play a part in leading the people in a direction. Whether you want to understand this or not, that's on you. I can't do nothing for you. You got to decide that on your own. Oh, nah, he's reaching. I'm going to get into it. I'm going to show and prove everything that I say. Nothing that I say is just loose. I know, get to the point and yeah. Right? It's all the point. It's all connected. You know what I mean? If you want it to be, there's cut and dry, this meme world that you live in, that's the reason why they created the meme world. Short answers. I tell people, you know what I tell people? Memes is the new verses. Like in the Bible, you got a verse, but then you got this unknown answer, but that's the new world we're in. These memes are supposed to give you the answers. That's the world we live in. The memes are supposed to give the answers. Yo, right? The Simpsons called it. That's the world we live in. Where the cartoons of that time was because of those references, and now granted, certain people was famous. Everybody always said Trump. Now, was that already set up for him to actually be the president? Who knows, right? But I know a lot of the stuff and memes that they coming out with were actually based on events of that time. So now they are raising the people through similarities of things. Now there's some coinky dinks, but those coinky dinks are either set up, if you do a broad analysis of it, really look, you might see something different. But anyway, so we talking the Capitol, the Forum, these are the references, in the Bible. When gentle Venus stood in the midst of the Senate, seen by no one, and took up the newly freed spirit of her Caesar. So even in the reference of the dove and all of that, that's the feminine presence. And I'm gonna get into
the feminine present in the old way was way more prevalent, meaning that it was a shared spot. So this is how the um the gay propaganda is able to work through. Oh yeah, you know that's gay, it's this, that, and the third, and so a lot of people, I could see them falling because, especially when you had or have this giant campaign happening even to this day. The campaign is real. The campaign is real. Whether the people want to believe it or not, this campaign is real. And to understand chicanery and the bombardment, to understand how it's promoted, even when it's acting like it's not. So, I'll be getting into those things. But to understand right now, when people tell you things, oh yeah, this is, yeah, but they're not giving you the totality. Where do you find this stuff and what does it mean? And how come it's relevant to anything? Like, yo, how does that even play a part? To like, yo, oh yeah, when you look at the video, it means this. And okay, what does that mean though? Just repeating the same jargon that you learned in the last video, but just pointing it out and not knowing what any of that means. Like I said, for me, I be always looking for an Aaron, somebody who can articulate without the ums and ums. You know what I'm saying, and all of that. And then I feel that the message would be conveyed. I'm a brute. You know what I mean? I have no respect for the language, so I butcher it, and that makes it difficult for the message to get across. I told you I've been doing this for 30 years. My information cannot be found in a book. It can be found in everything. And to be able to do it like this, see, I think this is where a lot of the people in the past who attempted to reveal it failed. Not those who pushed it forward, would acting like they revealing it, but really pushing you into the plan. I didn't do that. I'm showing you the root and showing you how this has shifted the people through time. Right? So let's go over here, go down some. Right? So like I said, I gave you how the Phoenix, the understanding of the Phoenix and how they promoted this, but with the shift. Because like I said, this can be shifted all the time. It's who whose army based on behind these gods of this time can rule. The might, the force of America under George Washington, and right, that's what's ruling here. But if you check in other countries, I'm pretty sure you're going to learn the same information for wherever you at. This is not a limited information. This is an open description. It's happening wherever you at. So me just giving the breakdown is universal. And the attack on structures is another. So even if you might have a structure that's resistant, you have another structure setting itself up saying, well, this is just what it is. Tell us it ain't. And then sooner or later, they will overpower the other structure. So the structures that are under attack, they should watch how the attack happened on Christianity and understand that this attack happening on other systems as well. You know, even though they holding fast, I've personally witnessed, the assault on Islam and as well, and Judaism for that matter. You know, so let's let's go down here. Right, bring this back up. All right, comment behind its own tail fair star. Okay. It has been argued recently that the idea of the Augeas use of the comment in his political aims largely stems from this passage. Right now, remember what I said chicanery is, right? We have been seeing this in all the elements. Right? I'm not like, ooh, look. I'm just, as I'm going, I keep going back to the key word, chicanery, and its purpose. And you can see the attachment within this context of the things that I'm talking about, right? In Shakespeare's Julius Caesar, 1599, Caesar's wife remarks on the fateful morning of her husband's murder. When beggars die, there are no comments seen. Oh, beggars. No comments seen. The heavens themselves blaze forth the death of princes. All right? And so they're basing these literatures. Let's go back to the right, Caesar and all of that. All right, so we got modern scholars, right? Okay. In 1997, two scholars in the University of Illinois in Chicago, John T. Ramsey, a classicist, and A. Lewis Litch, a physicist, published a book comparing astrology evidence to both Han China and Rome. Their analysis based on historical eyewitness accounts, Chinese astronomy, wait, my fault, astronomical records on the Philippian point. Okay, I don't, of, okay, yeah. The object which it appeared visible a tail from the Chinese capital Qing in late May, and as a star-like object from Rome in July of the 20th. A few scholars, such as Robert Gavell of University of LA, well, UCLA, and Brian G. Marson of Harvard, boom, 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 leaves the comet very existence as a open question. Now, I'm saying that to show that even as I gave, the Gaval narrative, right? I gave everybody's narrative. That's why I make sure I do this. That the purpose of it, whether or not it existed or not, the purpose of it is what matters. Did it happen? Yes. So I'm not going to waste my time on what its purpose was, meaning um did it exist or not? We needed to exist. That's his purpose, I meant. You know what I mean? How you use it, how you utilize it. That's what we mean about tools, people being tools, and all of that as well. Because people don't even know their tools being used as that comet. That comet was utilized to put this person in this great position. It's just a tool. So you could become the comet, just a tool. You understand what I'm saying? So to understand this craft, given the circumstances of a single report 2 decades after the event, I should be remiss if I were not to consider this a comet non existent as a serious possibility. Meaning that even after the comet, because this is how you know that quote unquote Freemasonry, even if Hiram, this is just a metaphor, right? Same difference. Same difference. You see what I'm saying? Same difference. Even if the dates are off, it doesn't matter. Time until you go and research and find this information. At that point in time, all of the people know, the original people know, the people within it, right? Until they get bombarded by the lie to where the lie becomes the truth. But even the lie gradually becomes the truth. Because you see, it took like 13 years for it to unravel into the new system. And look, it's been 2,000 years to unravel that lie. Because the only people who needed to know was those in the cult. Because the other people, all they gotta do is just be gradually groomed into it. So 13 years, yeah, he's this, he's that, and then you get what you got. You know what I mean? So it took them 13 years. How long did it take for them to do that with George Washington? right? Do your research. See how long it took for them to do that with George Washington, right? Did it was it completed when the state of Georgia was completed? Is it still a work in process? Right? Because he's immortalized. Has the people now been revealed? No, not yet, right? Is the G for George Washington now? Right? Who knows, right? Think about it. I mean, I could go into all of this direction if you want. You know what I mean? But like I said, here go right here at the bottom. As you can see, lots of references. Lots of references for you. Okay? Whole PDF files. You got a whole PDF files you could go through and sit down and go through. And this is for anything, right? Let me go back out here, right? And mind you, this all came from the temple of Caesar. This has still not saying to you, oh, they turned Jesus, Caesar into Jesus. You're right. It doesn't say that nowhere in there. This is my personal research. That's why, I make sure I put it out to take ownership because a lot of people will take your information and can't give it to you because they never got the whole thing. Right? I'm just looking because you got some construction going on. Um, you know, so I mean, this is what I'm here for. This is what my research was for. While other people thinking that, oh, you know, you tripping, the only way for me to get this information, I had to go through the pits of hell. That's where the devil is at. And I don't mean jail. I mean, but just having to eat amongst the sharks, the wolves, whatever they want to be called. And always maintaining my identity. Meaning, right, when dudes were killer and this, that, and the third, I was juice, right? Before the movie, I didn't get juice because of Tupac and none of that. I got the name because of a rap group. Basically, think of Salt and Pepper, think of Kid and Play. I got it from that era. Two of my homeboys, right? We laughing, but they went by the name of Lemon and Lime, right? I said, hey, how do I get into the fray? And I said, hey, well, from lemon and lime, you get juice, right? But I was an MC, so it was like I was trying to turn it into the trio. Whenever it came to rhyming, I was always trying to be in there because we had like different sections. Like we had the dance crew. I come around, but I wasn't really with the dancing. Um, The basketball, yeah, but like I said, I was more individual sport. I wasn't into yelling at people or somebody yelling at me because I didn't, or the judgment. You know what I mean? So I always went to individual sports like boxing and shit like that. I even took up karate for whatever that's worth. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, I always was a individual sports person. I understood that you ain't gonna whip me in shape through that through that system. You know what I mean? Stay wild like Mike Tyson. You know what I'm saying? Stay wild like Mike and shit. Does somebody come along and, hey, Mike, man, you know, shoots. I gotta be cautious. I don't want Mike coming at me. I love you, Mike. But you know how they used to come at Mike back in the days. Um, Suspend this in. This is ludicrous. This is ludicrous. You know what I mean? So, Mike, they was like, yeah, Mike is learning. That's what they was really trying to imply. Like, you know, Mike is educating himself. And I always felt through that education, it destroyed him as a the raging boxer. I don't want to say destroyed him, but as that rage against the machine, it took that away. You know what I mean? Pardon me, I'm over here putting this weed in. Uh, Dropped all that shit. So, man, um, what was I saying to you? I'm about to take a break in like 40 seconds, so pardon me. Whatever I was saying, hopefully I'll get back to it. You know what I mean? I be all over the place, but it's always, as long as it's always, I can look back and say, yeah, this is the gist, this is what it's over. I'm good. You know what I mean? But at this point, I'm just adding in a little extra before I slide off. Mm, 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 mm. I'm still thinking of the vocals, to add to it. I'm one of them people that I can put a million rhymes to it, but when it comes to certain things, like you just want it to like match, like the whole concept. So I might not even. I might just leave it as as a beat. Make the cause I got like I said, I bought a few beats, so I'll just probably add a vocals to one of the other ones and keep this as like this, like probably like my break, not my intro beat. You know what I mean? My intro rhyme and all of that. Anyway, what we say in here, like I said, we went into the comment, right? We went into this temple the same way we'll tell you of the Freemasonic Lodge. this birthplace that's built over around. I'm giving you the whole jewels every time. Every time. If you study any of that, all you got to do is study and read any of that stuff. Talk to them for a week. For a week. Don't even listen to anything I'm saying. Go listen to everything that they saying for 1 week. Really talk to them. Watch their repetitive talking points and all of that, and then come back and say yeah or no. That's it. That's all I ever ask. I'm not here to convince somebody of anything. I'm just here to present it like nobody came and gave me this information. The white man damn sure ain't gonna give me this information. And the black man, if he know, he damn sure ain't telling you. Cause he trying to get in on it. Not to say they don't. I didn't even invent the craft. I just looked and studied it. So they damn sure know. I'm just the observer with a good eye. You see what I'm saying? One thing I got is good vision and good hearing. You know? So this is why I offer this. I offer this because I know most do not have this. It's a very rare person, you know, to be able to hear it. The bullshit. The bullshit. If I could say I had any purpose on this planet, it was to present this information. That's it. Can't say I'm a rich man, I did this, I obtained that, none of that. Because I'm still not even asking. I'm not saying, yo, give me any money for this. Somebody, now mind you, if they try to utilize this information, it's copywritten. Because I am releasing a book on it, so you know what I mean? So I'm not worried about that. But as far as giving this raw, uncut insight, everybody who sees this gets that. They get that raw, uncensored, you know, hanging out with me, before the real lights and cameras. Oh yeah, so that, and I'm giving it to somebody else as a talking point. Like I told you, that's why I need an Aaron. You know what I mean? Cause I'm old York, gritty, even to the side, just you know, gritty. That's gonna be my new picture right there, like this. Like let me see, like this, gritty. You know what I mean? So that's gonna be the picture. So like I said, I could say as far as obtaining, nah. But what I obtained, I plan to give back so everybody can take back the wealth. That's it. Take back the wealth once you understand this information. So that's all I could ever offer. Can't offer millions and billions as the proof. The proof is look at those with the millions and billions, trillions, and all of that, and see how they did it along with what I just offered you. And then you know where to go get it from because I just showed you. I just told you how to identify who has it. And they'll take you to the big dog because they can't deny their participation. So when you see these shows and these movies, understand what you really see. And I didn't even touch the music part yet. This is all the visual. And there's some audio, but right now I've been presenting the visual, the written within the pages, the everything that you could see, imagery on the bills, the right. Remember I said making a god who's on the dollar bill. Don't they have that homage to to Rome and that imagery? Pardon me here. Don't they have that? Don't they have that? Right? Is that I'm just looking at how tall I am inside the and I don't know. I don't like to be too big in there and shit. You know what I mean? But anyway, um, don't they have that? If they have that, and all of this, and you can't see the connection, and how the whole terminology of white man's world and white supremacy and why even as Donald Trump refused, while he was in office to have the black person on a dollar bill. You don't understand the significance of that. On something that's really circulated, right? They put quarters with all of the states and all of this, but when they had the Sasquatch dollar bill, it's in a coin form that you don't really see people circulating around. You didn't put her on the dollar bill or the five or the 10 or something. Shit, you didn't like Abraham Lincoln. You could have put her on the penny. Right? You damn sure made the symbolization of making the penny black. No other coin is black, and it's the lowest denominator. It's lowest denominator. Nobody ever calls that part out. They'll tell you that yeah, it's black and you know Abraham Lincoln. He's the only one with his back turned, but it's also the lowest denominator of the currency, and it's the only one that's black. Now you will notice on the quarter inside the grooves, it is dark and all of that within that. So if you want to choose to follow a symbolism, fine. And then you also do your studies on the dime as well. Pardon me, I got my eye burning. Um, with the grooves as well. Do your research into this stuff. Nothing is just put there. Remember, they say Benjamin Banneker took the time to design the whole White House, right? I mean, not the White House, but Washington, D.C. Washington, D.C. They say a black man designed it, right? All right, all right, all right. All right. We're going to leave that there because, I believe, we did cover kind of that within, right, these buildings, right? Understand even down to the structure of the buildings where you live. There's signs and symbols on them. You wouldn't even know. Yep, yep. My eye burning. Good thing I'm about to take this. Is my last, run. Once this break go, I'm out of here. Got some stuff to take care. Like I said, I made sure that I put you on. And this is for everybody. This is not a limit to, Christianity, or this is the giant scheme. And they tell you within the stuff that you deal with, these references and all of that are there. When I show you so much more, you're gonna be like, wow, yo, this is the illest, grandest scheme. That's why when I see, I can see the hustle. I see the dislike for me. Like I always been the type of person of so. Clearly you can't do nothing about it. And I don't mean somebody who could pull out a gun and shoot me, right? I mean, as far as even, you know, being grown. Like I said, I try to stay away from be a man or be a woman, and have that moxie that I don't have to hide. I can just say what I feel, and the person that I'm dealing with, if they real within themselves, we grow. If they not real, then I didn't want that around me anyway, so I didn't really care. You know what I mean? Like I've never been in a situation. That's what I said. I've never been loyal to anybody because not knowing a motherfucker is not my problem. Knowing somebody where just knowing them can be detrimental to me is more of a problem. You know the keep your enemies close. Keep your friends close, but your enemies closer. I don't live by that. Hell no. Hell no. I'm not keeping my enemies closer. Hell no. That's like hugging a fucking snake. Would you hug a snake? Would you, you know what I mean, invite it to dinner? Who the fuck does that? That's how the snake got into your house by convincing you you keep it closer. No, not me. Oh no, no. I don't even cut the grass. That's another bad thing for me. I want to see where it's moving. So it thinks I don't know. All I just do is watch the grass, watch it move. Oh, there you go. You know why? Because the snake is still gonna be the snake, right? And if it knows that it's been revealed, isn't it gonna have to change its motive of operation, its MO, right? It's gonna have to change that. No. Stay the way you are. Stay as snakish as you could be, as comfortable as you are. So that way, when I need to, I know where to find the snake. That's always been me. I'm alive to this day. You know, being around that environment and always being a person of morals and principles and you know what I mean? So I stood alone. I was able to be inside of those environments alone. You know, because I never involved myself in the politics that was set up, most likely by the correction officers. Most of that gangs and stuff, you know, they all involved in that. You know what I mean? They involved in it. They got the money. They could facilitate it. They don't see you as them. Think about it. They could come in there and beat you up. You think them giving you raises and all of that is not facilitating the problem? You out your mind. We say fuck the police and overlook corrections. Oh yeah, you know they gave him the bangers. So you don't realize that this is where a lot of the birth of the problems within our community come from. Because once you put them in this environment, now you can remember it's for annihilation. They could actually had formed up and formed a team. They could have the same organizations that say they came out there and went to destruction. If there wasn't something to separate them, wouldn't they be inside there unifying? Sometimes you gotta wonder, especially when you in the county and people shift from, I'm talking about, yeah, the, inmates and whatnot. Can't they just simply place officers in there and they already protected and whatnot? Because all they got to do is stay in there for a certain amount of time. They walk in the door with these props and all that. Install this information and then go back out. Never see them again. I mean, that's a conspiracy. See what I mean? If I'm bullshitting, like, and I'm just speculating it, I'm not gonna leave it out there like that's real. I don't know. I really don't know. But I've always speculated that. And whatever I start thinking, and I get a strong inkling over there, that's usually where it's at. That's a fact. Anyway, we out of here, people. This your boy Juice. Wanna thank you for joining me. Street Skelzy, knock 'em out the box on Amazon.